When a serious crash happens or a fatal crash, we see so many of them in our area and right here on WRAL News. There's a team that shows up that works very hard to figure out who is at fault in that crash and whether any charges can be filed. They're officers who reconstruct accident scenes and provide some answers to family members. WRAL's Brett Neese introduces us to a person in that role in the Apex Police Department.
Officer Jeremy Short is patrolling the streets of Apex, but his day can quickly turn if a crash like this happens.
It's often hard when people are separated from one another suddenly and violently. The why questions tend to stick around. And so it's really important for reconstructionists, for detectives, for whoever, to try and answer those why questions.
Officer Short is a crash reconstructionist. He works quickly at a scene to gather as much evidence as possible. That includes measurements of the vehicles involved, witness interviews, and pictures of the scene.
It's my job to go in and gather those facts and to make sure that I'm putting them in an objective, reportable format that everyone else can understand what happened and why it happened and what led to it.
He says thanks to technology, that process is becoming quicker.
It's still our job to interpret that evidence, but the evidence collection process, the process of clearing the roads, should be getting faster because we have all sorts of things like laser scanners and drones.
Reconstructionists like Officer Short will try to get as clear of a picture as they can while they're at a crash scene. But sometimes they need to take a car for evidence, and that's when they bring it here to this lot so that they can further examine it. Short will also take the data from a crash and pictures of the scene and sit down to pore over the information at the station. He says he takes his job so seriously because he knows his reports can be the difference maker when it comes to what sort of charges may or may not be filed.
There's no one else that's going to have the shot that we do to investigate these crashes.
Brett Neese, WRAL News, Apex.
And Officer Short tells us that a reconstruction that he does only happens when there's a fatality or a life-threatening injury in the crash. So fortunately in Apex, he only has to do a few each year.